And tell us about your background. How did you become a winemaker?
That is a very nice story because my parents, uh, since their beginning, was completely far from the wine industry. But my father was in the furniture business for many years, and but when I was 5 or 6 years old, I spent many of my free time with my uncle. My uncle is a priest, still is a priest, Catholic priest, and was very common many years ago. So some years ago. So I'm not very old. So I'm getting old, but not very old. But about 20, 30 years ago, was very common in Tuscany to have a little vineyard around the church to make the wine for the community. And the church was in charge to produce the wine for the community. And so spending many of my free time with my uncle, because my father was always traveling around the world for his business, I had many opportunities to follow the vineyards first, to follow the wine production. And I remember that when I was about 6 years old, my uncle during in the was the 73 vintage, I think it was 73 vintage. He gave me a basket of grape, and he said, "You have to produce your own wine." And I produced crushing the grapes and making a little. It's a fermentation. It's a very empiric fermentation, but was fermented. And at the end, so I produced that 25 bottles of my own wine on that vintage, and I still have one or two bottles in my house. And my uncle that is remembering that he tasted that bottles at that time, he said, "Oh, was good. So for your first trial." And he said, maybe one day you can be a winemaker. And, so probably my feeling, my passion for this business were coming from this possibility, from my uncle. And I always said, probably you are the reason of my of my life, because now I am a winemaker because you teach me a lot since I was very young.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's